Well, good morning, Marie. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Not too bad. Are you ready to get your tax calculations on or what?
I sure am. I've definitely been hearing a lot about it this week. I'm sure everybody's been talking about it and anywhere you go. So let's get it
Mhm.
out there.
Yes. So today's show is not going to be just about the recent tax increase. It's going to be about next year's tax increase. And we're going to show you the calculator, let you be able to plug into your own numbers. We can help you if you want to, throw numbers at us. We'll let you know what type of increase you're looking at. And we're going to show you ways that you can put in if you qualify for some rebates that we found. All right. So it's going to be a really good show between the things that me and Marie dug out. They're going to definitely be able to help you save money, we hope. Okay, so that's going to be the plan of today, is show you how much to expect your taxes to increase and how you can benefit with the rebate programs that we found through the province and through the CBRM. All right, Marie, so let's start off by sharing the tax calculator. So in the links or the comments, you're going to see that we've included the link in here regarding the tax calculator. So what do you got to say about, what do you think about this tax calculator in the new, good morning, Marie, the increase we just all got?
Well, I'm glad that they did give us a tax calculator, so at least we can try our best to figure out what it is that we owe. But boy, I tell you, when you look at above the tax calculator at all of the taxes that you have to add together, it's quite a
Yeah.
bit. It's quite a bit more than what people are willing to pay for no services in the CBRM, right? Got to remember that we have a very high tax rate, as everyone can see.
Yeah,
And no matter where you live in CBRM, be it Glace Bay, be it Sydney Mines, right? It's ridiculous. We have no services.
exactly. So if you're wondering how your taxes are calculated, if you go into the CBRM tax rate information, just plug that into Google, it looks overwhelming. And yes, I think it's because it's got a lot of information. So not all that information is going to pertain to your tax bill, just some of it, because it's got commercial stuff in there along with residential. So here's where it gets to zone in on your particulars. Okay, so you scroll past the green and you hit the blue. Once you're inside the blue area, which is this area here, if you want to bring up the tax calculator, we included the link inside of the comments, okay? It will allow you to put your year in, 23, 24, your area. So depending on where you are in Cape Breton, you're going to want to choose your Dominion, Glace Bay, Lewisburg, Waterford, North Sydney, Sydney area. You know where
So,
you're looking and what you're calculated at. Go ahead.
which one do we want to try? Which one are we going to go with as a
Any
beginner?
Yeah, does anybody want to use your just throw numbers at us to help you figure out what type of increase you're looking at? All right, so there's just a couple of easy things that can get you caught up on here if you don't plug them in correctly. So first
Yes.
off, they base these informations off of per $100 of your assessment. So what that means, let's just use easy numbers. So if you're assessed at $100,000, you would take the calculation that you have in here and it would be based per 100. So the little number that you get, it would be multiplied by 100, which would give you your tax increase, because we all, easy math, you assume you're going to
Yep.
take your assessment is the 100,000, 200,000, and multiply that by the rate that you get. But because
Let's do that. Let's just show them that really quickly. Like, just let's do one quick. Like, let's pick Dominion, the very first one. Want to do that?
Yep. So we'll bring in Dominion and we're going with
Residential.
residential. Uh-huh. And then here's the
We're going
thing.
to give them all the services.
They have all the services. So they have hydrant, they have sewer, they
They're
have,
not Sydney residential only, though, so we got to leave that out, I suppose.
we'll choose transit all other areas other than Sydney. So that would
Right.
be the rate that you would go with. So it says calculate your tax rate, and it gives us a number. And again, this rate is per $100 of your assessment. So it's 2.0154. You got your calculator up there, Marie?
Yes, I do. But
Uh,
you know what? Here, let me go sideways here. Mm-hmm.
mine too.
All right, here we go.
So again, remember, we're basing this on if you have $100,000 assessment. Okay, so you would take 100 because you drop two zeros off, because that's how they have it evaluated, is per 100, not per the entire assessment. So you would multiply if you're in the Dominion area, 2.0154.
4.
and it would give you an extra $201 is what you would expect to pay for your taxes next year. And because they send the tax bills out biannually, this would be cut in half, and every 6 months you'd be looking at $175 increase. Okay, or $100.75 roughly. That's what you'd be looking at, and that's based on the Dominion area, and that's based on $100,000 assessment. I don't think very many people are basing or have assessments that are probably that low because of what they've done to our real estate here in Cape Breton. You may be looking at a $200,000 assessment or a $300,000 assessment.
Yeah, let's discuss that little part. So just because you bought a property at, let's say, $20,000 in 2022, let's just say, okay? What we've got going on now is because of everything that has gone on is we have everybody now paying a whole lot extra because of the assessed value. The assessed value is a totally different thing than what the heck you paid for originally, right? Yeah, you didn't do anything to your house. You didn't do a roof. There's nothing at all you did. Possibly is even worse than when you got in there, right? But guess what? You now have this assessed value as if you live in Toronto or somewhere. And now what might have been, I don't know, a $60,000 house then is now close to $120,000 if there was, let's say, a bidding war on the house, which has happened and it's still happening now.
Yeah, because we're in short supply, which supply and demand
we got nothing. Yeah, we got nothing left for housing markets. So we are really screwed. Let's face it, right?
Exploded our prices because of the amount of unavailability. It has increased what's available in an exponential formula that doesn't make sense for anybody except if you're selling real estate. If you're buying real estate, you're in trouble. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, everybody all across Canada is saying pretty much the same thing, right? It's like the amount is not, doesn't make any sense. It's unaffordable, everything. But on top of all of that, in CBRM, we don't have any services to allow for an increase. I don't understand how we are continuously penalized as the citizens. I mean, we have a mayor and council that is in there doing their best, I suppose, but they're not delivering. They've not been fighting for our taxes to be lowered until they were up against the wall, pretty much. It seemed like we were just bumping along with them until this MOU. And now we're really going to be screwed next year. So now let's look at next year's increase. Should we do that?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on here. So
because you go back there.
You go back into it and it doesn't allow. So 2023, 2024 is the most recent that it has in there for the tax year calculations. Before there's 2022, 2023.
Well, right. Because that's this year's is what the one we really should have done first, maybe. Let's see that. Because what it would have been then, let's see. Did that go up at all from last year, or what are they trying to tell us, that it's just the same this year to then next?
So what Marie caught online in all the different groups that we're in is some people have been reporting tax increases of up to $5,000. Now, Marie and I got our tax bills, and luckily mine didn't go up too much and Marie's didn't go up too much. Ours was in the affordable range. We don't have caps, and we don't even understand how these caps work. And apparently the caps are gone now. All caps are off.
Right.
So
not happy with any increase, mind you, because like we said, there's no infrastructure or anything to be allowing for a tax increase the way we are having to deal with on a yearly basis, it seems.
Pulling things because of the inflation, the cost of living, the cost to run all their trucks, to do with all the services that they've been doing. The province doesn't think that all the municipalities should have to pay for the influx of the cost of life. Now, I don't know how the province comes across this when the cost of gas is more expensive, the cost of power is more expensive, the cost of just generally moving one piece of equipment to another, and then your employees are looking for more money all the time. So all these things cost the municipality extra money. And I mean, they don't have a money-making machine in there. So of course, us as the taxpayers, if they can't get it from the provincial government and they can't get our equalization fairly from the federal government, then they're left with putting this on us. Well, that makes sense, as you remember, municipality is a business, and a business model has to be able to keep themselves in the black, because once you're in the red, you're dead. Okay. We can't run the municipality that way. So it
You're
doesn't,
right.
yeah, why they're doing it, but we need to help them be able to figure out better ways to generate money. But for now, we're going to keep the show on how to get rebates if you qualify for tax money back. Okay. So that's
Can we talk though about one thing about this tax thing? Okay, because you were saying about how some people were saying they got $5,000 increase. That's what got me into this, where I was like, okay, I know how my taxes are calculated and I understand who's getting a $5,000 increase. And that brought me to, are you the landlords out there telling me that you're getting a $5,000 increase? Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to cry for you right now at that, because I know people are really suffering and being kicked out of the homes and stuff that they're renting. So I was really shocked though to hear that some were saying that they had such a high increase.
Mhm.
Like,
So
because what kind of value of home are they?
is they've either had to fallen into arrears and have back taxes,
Right.
and compiled a quite amount that's soon going to get them into a tax sale. That, I mean, is not just this new increase. That is something that is compounded with other things that are not good. All right.
Right.
And then there's the other issue that would only make sense to us is how many houses do you own to have that much of a tax increase? Because if you own one home and your taxes increased $5,000, then you must be owning a home that is worth umpteen million.
Like, what's going on? You must own a gorgeous home.
Yes.
I don't accept the fact that they've increased all of everyone's taxes. That's terrible, right? But I don't like it when people are coming on and like, cry for me. I own all this property and I've been collecting money off of all of these people and all these citizens. And I don't want to have to pay back any taxes, even though I've been like benefited up the yin yang by this terrible crisis of the housing crisis in the CBRM. So it's a bit of bullshit, right? When you look at some people's whiny whines. But really, I do agree in the long run that, yeah, no taxes should have been increased.
Wayne is saying his are up 30%. Now, Wayne, can you elaborate a little bit more? This increase was only a 3.5% increase. So what happened? How could they have increased 26.5% more than the 3.5% that was, called for? Explain more if you can, Wayne, because being up 30% doesn't make sense when it's just a 3.5% increase. Appraisal went up 26%. Okay. So that is how they are going.
The assessed value, right? That's the assessed value. Like, I know what my assessed value of this house was, but I know what I paid for it, and it certainly is not worth what I paid for it. But nonetheless,
that seems like a con to me, Marie. Now
it is when they assess, when you know what your assessed value really is, and you're paying for so much more. But we were forced into it, as everybody is on this island. If you could, you would buy rather than rent at this point, right? I think everybody agrees that's what the choice would be if you can. But they made it so that now it's pretty much impossible. Now you got bidding wars out there for half a company house, and that's kind of unfair. Like, that's beyond me. But it's what's happening. There's a lack of housing, and our census from 2021 is certainly not reflecting what's been going on this island, and it's nowhere near like how are we even getting the proper amount of taxes and transfers from our government if they are going by the census? Are they going by the census? Can someone help me out on that? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're going by word of mouth of Dingwall. I don't know.
Census is how they compile their data so that they know the type of houses, the structure of houses, single dwellings versus apartments, multi-duplexes, all that sort of thing is what they put into, the computer, and they calculate it based on those results of the data captured. Now, if they're capturing incorrect data, that's going to cause a problem. If they're capturing data that's got 800 abandoned houses here in Cape Breton, so there's 800 houses that are part of the tax calculation that are not contributing to the tax pot, okay, to the tax coffers, which then again leaves them to have to renegotiate a different formula to charge those of us that do pay our taxes. We get stuck with the ones that bailed on us, and now we have to take their portion and have it, because we're going to be in the red. Red is dead, and as far as the business goes, you can't keep functioning an actual viable business if you're constantly in the red. Red is bad because that means that you owe debt. We can't have the municipality running on accruing debt and debt and debt. Who's going to cover
they've been allowing it since they got in. Like, they've not fought back as hard as they have over that last week, right? That we went through with the MOU and then the law amendments. So, I mean, I'm shocked that like this is happening, really, that like we have to accept this as a CBRM unit. Like, why would we be paying anything to the provincial government if we know that like we're stuck with all the bills anyway? I mean, like they say, right, they're going to take over the provincial jails and the schools or whatever have you. But the thing is, we're still going to be taxed for it. How does that help us? Doesn't help a citizen at all. Helps them. Like, I don't know. Is it going to help the mayor and deputy mayor go on another trip? Yeah, possibly. But it's not going to help us, the citizens. Like they're going to have a little bit more money to play with in the budget, is what I'm saying. But we are not. We're going to have nothing.
As far as trips go, trips now in today's digital world are a complete schmoozing schmuck on the taxpayer, because there's nothing that you can't accomplish online by doing a meeting on how we're doing it right now. You can do presentations, you can do slideshows, you can do. It
was proven through COVID. There's things that needed to be done, and that's how we have to do it when you're on a shoestring budget like the CBRM is. You don't go taking trips, but don't want to be getting down on them over that crap right now. But the point is, I mean, let's take a look at the fact that I believe the mayor and council accepted I don't know. It was an actual raise.
Yes.
Right before the new mayor took over. All the council did actually agree to this raise. Most of them did, not all. They wanted this raise, and it was because, why was that? Because the federal government was going to start taxing them on their income. Yes. They didn't like it.
No.
And so therefore, they thought, well, what we're going to do is we're going to keep our salary that we have and just tax the citizens of the CBRM to make up for it, right? Yeah, so that's what we've been going through for these years.
They increased their salary so that they didn't have any of the tax. If they would have kept the taxes on, it would have been, their salary would have been deducted so many hundreds of dollars. But rather than that, giving themselves the raise that allowed them to be able to buffer that tax that was coming off and still keep the amount going into the bank, their net, not gross. So they kept it so that it benefited them, not so much benefited anybody on our side who has to come up with more money for their coffers. So Wayne says CBRM uncollected taxes in 2021 and 2020 totaled nearly $18 million. Now this is back a couple of years ago. So let's just say, what would it be for 2021, 2022? And then let's lead again into 2022, 2023. So if you keep rolling on the 18 million, and then let's say that there's the next year, the next fiscal year is another 18 million. Now we're at 36. So we roll into another a fiscal year, and there's another 18 million. Now, I don't know if it accrues 18 million per year, or if that was just the amount from previous years accumulated into the 2021. I don't know how Wayne did it, but I'm just using those numbers as an example. Yep. Now, with that being said, that's half of look at that money. 18 times 3 million. We need to do something about these 800 abandoned homes. There's legal avenues where we can literally, they can't all need to be demolitioned. I mean,
what about the money? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, if they all do need to be demolished or demoed, how the mayor was presenting it up to Halifax, why is it that we're paying outside companies for these jobs when we have our inside people? The people that just went on strike there, they're called outside workers. Well, we've got all this heavy equipment that we own as a municipality. We've got all these workers that we employ every day to do outside work, to run these big machines and all this heavy equipment. Why are we going outside of our own jurisdiction of workers and not utilizing what we have? Okay. So let's just say they're not trained in demolition. All right. So we take a handful of these guys and we have a seminar ran for them. Okay. So we pay someone to train these guys just give them, they already know how to work the equipment.
I'm not sure that isn't done. I don't even know. And do we own the equipment? Like, I don't know for sure of that. I don't know if you looked into it, because I don't know, but I'm like, frig, like, we can't be paying outside people. I mean, we'd be paying for their travel expense, for their lodging, for everything else. What are we doing here? Like, we don't have money for that. We know we don't have money for that.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We need to utilize more of the in-house things and stop going out of our own means to pay for things that we can't afford. We can't afford to have 800 homes not contributing to our coffers. We can't afford
I agree. Now, what about the ones that they're saying they cannot find the owner for? We've been looking for them for 10 years, they say. How much money goes into that every year? What the hell is wrong with you people? 10 years you're looking for the owner. I believe somewhere in your bylaws, you could have, like, oh, come on. Like, and you know very well what my issue with the bylaws there, AJ, and I'm not supposed to be able to look them up anymore. I'm blocked from that site. But anyway, I found my own way. So, and I'm going to tell you, it really pissed me off to realize that these bylaws were put in place where they could have been going and taking over these residences as a municipality. I mean, if anybody wants to see, I got the screenshots, and the bylaws were there right up until, I don't know, did they change them recently?
No. So Wayne says 625 property accounts with no known owner, making $2.2 million a year in taxes uncollectible, and the amount grows by $100,000 every single year. Thank you for that, Wayne. So
yes.
We've got that much money just owing to us, okay, every single year. Why are we not taking these delinquent accounts? Why aren't we small claims courting them? I mean, we've got something. Kiwanis is on retainer, being paid a salary by our municipality, and we're not using or utilizing the law services that he's being billed for or submitting bills for. And this could be something that he could be tasked on. He's just sitting there waiting for an issue. Well, instead of these issues with firefighters and counselors and, you know, things that are using his resources and unnecessarily for some of it, okay? We could literally be having him out using the resources we're paying him for to bring back money that we're not getting. So we need to retask some of these people who are currently on the payroll and have them contributing to the payroll rather than siphoning the payroll.
Yeah, rather than sucking up that money. I don't see much that we get for the things that we're paying out. That's all I can tell you. I mean, there's not a thing I can see that can be improved upon at this point.
So Wayne says CBRM is in the red. Exactly. Our debt is 70 million. Okay, that's crazy. The municipality has brought its debt down from more than 100 million to under 70 million and has a policy that prevents borrowing more in 1 year than it pays off. This has interest. Oh my God. I can't even imagine us having that much debt. Our little island with that much debt. Now, and why can't we petition the federal government for our equalization money? Let's just break down how the formula for equalization would work. It would work by region that is considered lacking in services. So based on that, each region would have a population data number, okay? So it doesn't matter what age group the population is. It would just matter the region and the amount of population for that particular region. So let's just pull a number of 150,000 right now for everybody in Cape Breton Island. Let's have the federal government, petitioned to have all of the dollar figures, like for PEI, I believe it's like $4,000 or something along that line per individual is what they get for equalization money. Okay, when it's all done and balanced out, that's how much per individual it would get. So let's say that there was 150,000 people in Cape Breton at a rate of 4,000, or, I'm just using these numbers. I'm not 100% if they're exact or not, but there is an exact number of per person, per dollar, per region. We need to take that amount, remove it right from Halifax, because they're not doing us any good by helping us spend that money that's due ours. All right. So when we break it down like that, have the federal government put it into two checks. Put the Cape Breton check aside from the rest of the Nova Scotia. Because we didn't break the island or break the land apart that separated us. God did that. Okay. And God knows we need help right now in making sure that our money gets to us. and not gets to them, because there's too much political corruption going on in the money pot, and we need to.
Yeah. The MLAs are clearly not working for us. What we saw from that law amendments, that was disgusting, frankly. I mean, God love Kendra Coombs. You are a force. What a wonderful person to have on our side, but we need a lot more, because that was ridiculous. That was honestly unbelievable to me. Like, these MLAs were voted in, and I don't know who they think they're actually working for, because they're not benefiting any of us.
Study buddy, Kahuna Boys
Yeah,
Club.
really.
Let's be real. If you're not on the golf course swinging with one of these sluggers, you're not going anywhere, and you're going nowhere's fast. Okay, you can be like, Dora, just keep swimming. Yeah, because you ain't gonna find no money here, honey. All right, back to money. You're gonna find it. So let's look at some of these rebates that are available for you.
Oh, yes. Because this actually is a little bit of good news. I mean, you know, everybody's poo-pooing the government, and I poo-poo them a lot myself. But this is something that is actually tangible and beneficial to a lot of people out there who are under the income level.
Right.
Take a look.
So bear with me here while I add these links to what we're looking at into the. Let me remove this.
You guys are going to be looking at the Canada Nova Scotia Targeted Housing Benefit Rent Supplement Program. It's also for homeowners, guys. So take note. This is going to be for if you are spending 50% or more on your housing. So it's really important for people to know that, because not everybody knows that these are out there. A lot of people do, but I don't know if they're sharing the information enough, because people seem constantly surprised when I'm telling them, have you looked on the Nova Scotia site? Have you looked up this? Because it's a ton of information on this site. On the federal sites as well, I might want to add grants everywhere.
So you're really going to want to have an error occurred. Wait a moment, and then try again. So let's try again and see what's going on there. So it doesn't want me to share the rebate for the Nova Scotia housing.
That makes absolute sense.
Okay. So go ahead, Marie. Let's tell people on what they need to do. Canada Nova Scotia Targeted Housing Benefit. Okay.
Yep. And this one is for the Rent Supplement Program. So when you get on there, you did send them the link on there, right, Janet? So they'll be able to look it up. You're going to get on there and look up for the rental side. Apply today, it says. Please note it is important that you carefully review the application form and ensure all required documents are included to avoid delay in reviewing your application. So that's with anything with the government.
Just wait quick. So right under here, when you first open this link up, it has two sections. It has apply for the rental benefit, apply for the homeowner benefit. It's got both here. Okay. So whether you're a renter or an owner, the access to the application form is still here. All right. So it just, we have to talk about
the main page. It's the one-stop shop page for Nova Scotia. And it's really great if you can get into this and start learning it, because you're going to learn to actually save some money and maybe be able to buy your own house if you find the right link. So
that's right. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, it's just telling you what you have to do, right? It's a step-by-step. You're going to have to, like, you need to prove that you, as a renter, are paying more than 50% pre-tax, which is gross household income for or rent, right? You basically want to.
Yeah. So what does that include? It includes your oil. It includes your power. It includes your water bill. It includes everything that you have to pay to live in that house. The only thing it doesn't include is your groceries and your internet. Everything else is part of that 50%. So your rent, your heat, your lights, your taxes, your, whatever it costs you to run there, it's in there. So it's not just my rent is only 30%. Well, what is your oil? What is your power? What is your taxes?
Those are housing costs, right? We got to just keep that in mind, right? What your housing costs are. And we know that a lot of us are paying more than 50% as a renter or homeowner. So who can qualify for this? You need to be a resident of Nova Scotia. You have to be in severe housing need, which for whatever reason need refers to a household spending more than 50% of its total pre-tax gross household income on rent or shelter costs, mortgage and utilities, right? Or rent and utilities.
That's right.
You have to have an annual total pre-tax gross household income that falls below the current household income limits for your area, right? Now you can hit on there. That's a whole different link.
So hold on, I just did, and showing in here for Halifax, small towns, and CBRM, for a one bedroom, you need to have under $30,000. Okay, For a 2-bedroom, you need to have under $40,000 or 40,000 and below. And for a 3-bedroom, $53,000 and below. That's what it requires for here in Cape Breton. So 3-bedroom and up, $53,000 or less. 2-bedroom, $40,000 or less. And a 1-bedroom is $30,000 or less. So if you've got that threshold of money, you pay more attention because this includes you. Keep going, Marie.
Yep. So, and if you study full time in a recognized post-secondary institution, you may be eligible for this benefit as well. If you have dependents, if you have physical disability, or in need of an accessible rental unit. So, in addition to the eligibility requirements above to be eligible for the homeowners, we're going into homeowners for some reason, even though we're in the rental area, but they nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you own or have a life interest in your own home, which is assessed for property tax purposes at no more than $300,000. That's within Halifax, though. $200,000 in other regions of Nova Scotia.
Which would be
so as long as it's below that assessed value, and you have to live in your home permanently as well. This is for homeowners, right?
Yeah, for homeowners.
Yeah. So you can either apply by mail or online. The online is very easy to do. It really isn't that hard, guys. They do make it as simple as can be.
To break it down again, if you're in a 3-bedroom apartment, or a house, $53,000 and lower for your base income. If you're in a 2-bedroom, I believe it was $40,000 and below, and then for a 1-bedroom, it was $30,000 and below. Now, for the homeowners, if you've got a home assessed at $200,000 or less, those are the qualifications that you need, whether you are a renter versus a homeowner. Okay, so keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No, it's perfect. Like, I think that's about it. I mean, it's basically jointly funded by the government of Nova Scotia and Canada Mortgage Housing Corporation. That's the CMHC, right? So there's quite a few things on these government sites that can help you if you know how to weed through them. And it's not as difficult as it looks. You just, they give you the links to go to. You're basically needing to prove your income, and you give them your rent receipts, right? This is not rocket science, but I don't think there's enough out there to tell people about these things that they can be doing, right? It's pretty sad.
Didn't start looking at this stuff. And so some of these things that you apply for, like the housing benefit or the rental benefit, it actually gives you a monthly stipend, we'll call it, of $200, of up to $200. They'll send you a check. So, and they'll email money transfer it. So they EFT it, electronically funds transfer it into your bank account if you qualify. And if you qualify, why wouldn't you want to submit your information to get your $200 or up to $200 every single month to help you with your bills? Because let's face it, winter's coming and it's not going to get any less expensive to live around here.
That's the truth. I mean, I'm worried about the people with the oil and such. There's all kinds of government grants out there as well. We should be mentioning from Energy Efficiency Nova Scotia. Take a look at that, guys. Anybody out there, that's business owners as well. There is a lot out there right now going on for the heat pumps and for solar. I don't know if enough people know about solar, but Wayne is an expert on solar. Wayne, if you're there watching, I'm sure you could tell people a bit about that. That's something else. He's got it all. He went in for, he learned a lot about it. And from what he explained to me, it's actually worth it in the long run.
So on here, right, you got her, Wayne. So shelter costs include your mortgage payment, your property taxes, condominium fees, electricity, heat, water, municipal services, whether it's home insurance. It's a flat rate of 1% of the capped assessed value of your home calculated monthly will be added for maintenance costs. So this is for the homeowner side. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can find here for the renter side on what they include. And again, it would be definitely your oil. If you're paying for water, if you're paying for electricity, all of these things are part of that expense, shelter expenses, and you want to make sure that you're not missing out on free money. Okay. So if you know about it, also share this video so that it can help people caption it. Rebates, okay, tax rebates from CBRM, tax rebates from the province, because both seem to have the program available, and maybe you can get both. I don't know about that, but try. Hey, all you do is put in and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Throw mud at the wall and see if it sticks. All right. So what's
we
the next?
have the Senior Citizens Assistance Program. If you look on the left of that page that we were all looking at, When you tap onto that, you need to find out if you're eligible. A grant is this program provides assistance to senior homeowners 65 and over who would like to remain in their homes and cannot afford the necessary repairs. The funding covers repairs that are a threat to health and safety, which includes repairs of roofing, plumbing, and heating. Cosmetic repairs are not covered. A grant of up to $6,500 is available. So are you eligible? If you or your spouse must be at least 65 years or older. Your total household income is below the established income limit, which varies depending on household size and the area you live in. I believe it's at 60,000 now, if I'm not mistaken, for a couple, if you own a home. But don't, check it out yourselves. Don't just take my word for it. You must own and have lived in your home for at least 1 year. And they give you the 1-800 number where people will help you on the phone if you're having problem filling out these forms. You could also go to your Service Canada, right, and have someone help you out. So program documents, they have a lot of documents and such that they need there. Unless we don't go into that.
Did you say what financial assistance is available for them? The forgivable loan of $3,500, to help with all these things that you may need to make your life more comfortable. Or if your home, your capability or movement is not what it used to be, they will help you be able to maneuver around your house with more ease with forgivable loans, meaning that you don't have to pay them back. It's like, again, we'll call it free money because it is what it is. And if you're eligible and you qualify for it, you need to put in for it, because they're not going to be like, oh, they didn't put in for it and they qualify. No,
they never tell you about it. You need to be the one who's looking for these things and be like really progressive in your own, in your own path here, because you got to look up the things that you're going to be eligible for. Many people don't fall under one category, but they will fall under another. There's something for everyone.
Exactly. So, handrails in your hallway and stairs, easy to reach work and storage areas in the kitchen, lever handles on doors, walk-in showers and grab bars, bathtub grab bars and seats. So these are things that a lot of people have to, they think they foot the bill on their own on these. But if you're an eligible senior, these things get covered for you at no cost. No, not low cost, no cost. Okay.
At no cost.
So Marie gave the eligibility for it. So that's just something else. I've included the link in the comments that you can click onto. And for the love of God, make sure that you apply for it if you qualify for it. All right. So let's go to the next rebate or benefit that people would also be qualified for.
Well, I'm not sure how people are feeling about buying their own home at this point in time, but I do want to mention the down payment assistance program, because that's really important. A lot of people don't think that they're going to be able to do it without having that down payment. But if you fit underneath the total household income of $145,000, you could be accepted for this, and your down payment could be a maximum loan of $25,000. And your down payment is generally 5%, right, of the value of the house. So just look into that, guys. I mean, if you're looking to buy a house, I know there's not a lot out there right now that's affordable, but it's worth a try. There's more out there to buy than there is to rent right now in some cases. So might as well look it up, right? Look it up and see.
So this is the Canada Nova Scotia Targeted Housing Benefit. So the Targeted Housing Benefit, do you own your home? Okay. Does it cost you half of your income to run your home? So this is just basically, it's how to fill out this application. You must provide your proof of income. You must provide proof of shelter costs. So just a copy of your mortgage payment, property taxes, your electricity bill, your heat, your water, your home insurance, or any other service fee that you have that you need to run your home. So as long as you're including that, please tell us who currently lives with you. And then you put your information down, your street address, and that's it. It's very basic information. You just need to be able to copy this, print the form off. And if you don't have anything to do it at home, bring this on your phone into Staples and they'll be able to help you do that. Or message me. I just got a new printer. If you live in the area, I can help you with that. Okay. I want to make sure that you qualify, that you're not missing out because of something silly like you can't print it off. All right. So that link to this document is in the comments. And let's talk about, we found something else as well, Marie.
What was that? Well, there's always something. That's the thing. And as I'm going through it, they put new things in even from last week. So there's stuff that I know, it's not everybody out there, but I'm like, I'm going through, I'm going, oh, I'm going to have to read this again later.
Yeah. So we
There's
talked
an
about
awful lot.
the homeowner benefit. So let's talk a little bit more about the renter's benefit. Okay. So the
Right.
benefit is who's eligible if you're a renter. Again, I'm going to put this in the comments. Permanent resident to Nova Scotia, currently renting your accommodation. You or your household are not receiving a rent supplement. You're considered a low income and spend at least 50% of your gross income before taxes are taken off of your rent. Learn more about the income on the section below. You or the members of your household do not owe money to the Department of Municipal Affairs and Housing or the Nova Scotia Public Housing Agency, former Housing Authority. If you do, that balance must be paid off in full, or you must make arrangements to pay the debt before you can be eligible for this benefit. Okay, that's a little bit of a stickler there. If anybody's in owing money, I guess they got to put their rules in. So if you do meet the conditions, it says, are you or members of your household living in public housing or receiving a rent supplement? And then it goes into, are you a student? And then is your income eligible? You must be considered the low income. And again, the thresholds that we spoke of, if you're in the 1-bedroom apartment, 30,000 or under, 2-bedroom was 40,000 or under, and the 3-bedroom was 53,000 or less. So again, you need to decide which category you're in, the type of dwelling you're in, and based on the income that you make, go by those rules. Okay. Again, hopefully you'll be able to benefit from this and be able to get yourself a rebate that is being offered. So you apply as soon as possible. All right. Don't wait to apply. You want to do that sooner than later so that you can get your application in the system. All right. So let's see. As I got an example here. So a single senior age 58 or older living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Of course, they use Dartmouth as the example and not CBR. So let's just see. Their income, Canada pension plan is $250. So their old age or security would be $1,400. Total monthly income would be $1,650. Now they're showing here a 1-bedroom in Dartmouth is $978. I'm thinking right now, if you were able to find a 1-bedroom in CBRM for under $1,000, you did good.
Impossible. So, that's not true. Those are bull crap numbers.
They are. So I'm thinking even in Dartmouth, that would be a bargain price right now because of how things have just inflated to not match what we actually make. And
I think Dartmouth is about CBRM's price. Actually, I do think they are around.
Yeah. So total monthly supplement based on this person's example, they would get a $483 monthly supplement. So that's quite a lot of money to get a rebate. So when we're talking about this, I'm not sure how it varies between maybe it's the homeowner of a monthly maximum cap of 200 versus a renter or being a senior. So this may be based on the senior because there's so much information between senior information, renter information, homeowner information, that once you get in there and you select the one that's based on your particular situation, that's how it'll break down better for you. Okay. So the fact of the point of this is there's decent money out there. If you are very low income, you could really afford to get this. You can't afford not to get into this information because imagine getting an extra $483 to supplement what you have now. So that could be your groceries or your heat. It could mean a whole world of difference to you. So that's why. And again, I'm going to put this information again here.
I found something for landlords.
Okay, go ahead.
So this program provides financial assistance to owners of rooming houses, which I think they'll all be assumed as rooming houses at this point, with accessible rent for people with lower incomes. So there's a benefit for you out there if you want to provide lower income places to rent in a rooming house, which I'm sure there's many of them out here. This program is available across Nova Scotia. It funds repairs and modifications to make sure Nova Scotians have access to affordable housing. I find this interesting because I have a feeling that there's a few of our landlords out there who are accessing this.
Yeah, but
am I eligible? Owners of rooming houses that are intended as permanent accommodations for tenants can apply for funding if the rates for bed units are at a low or below market level. Additionally, the property must lack basic facilities or need major repairs to one or more of the following areas. Imagine anybody who owns like a company house that's renting it to students could probably apply for this right now. Structural, electrical, plumbing, heating, and fire safety. Eligible repairs. Only repairs required to bring rooming houses up to minimum level standards of health and safety are eligible to be covered with program funding, though. All right. Well, once the repairs have been made, the rooming house should remain livable for an additional 15 years, assuming normal care and maintenance is done.
My God, 15
Right?
years. What do they think they're giving them here?
Oh, they're
What?
bringing it up to, that's for wiring. It's
Oh,
for everything that would keep it up to par. And in the event that they do get it, they're going to be expected to keep up the maintenance though, right? And
well,
this I
that's
think is a big issue for renters right now. They can't get their landlord over there to do maintenance. So,
hmm
but anyway, that's something, a little bit of something for people who own and want to rent out to people.
I think that's a great idea because there's a lot of landlords that are, trying to do right by their rentors, rentees, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
but they can't afford certain things. So if you're in one of those positions that you're a landlord and you're struggling to keep your houses, your units up to par to where people or yourself you think they should be, this is to help you. All right, to
Yeah.
get like Marie had mentioned all those things, your electrical, or maybe you need some stair work done or something to make it less dangerous for people to live in. Okay, because there's a lot of dilapidated houses that are being paid large rents right now in CBRM. So this can help you, which in turn helps your tenants. So really, as far as the information that we were going to present to you today, this is it. We wanted you to know there are rebates available for renters. There's rebates available for homeowners. There's rebates available for senior citizens. None of these rebates are eligible to anybody who is not considered a low income earner. All right, so that is key
Right.
to the to qualifying for the rebates. So check those thresholds again because everybody's real life situation is going to be different, and as you know, there's many scenarios here. Okay, so anything that you want to add to the show, Marie?
Well, I'm seeing there's a shelter enhancement grant here. You know what this is, guys? The Shelter Enhancement Program provides funding to improve existing shelter for women, children, and youth who have experienced family violence. The program also helps to acquire and build new shelters and second stage housing where needed.
That sounds
Why
very
don't we know about this? Why don't we know about this?
well.
Assistance. Financial assistance is provided through a fully forgivable loan that does not need to be repaid as long as the shelter operator follows the conditions of the program. For newly developed projects, funding up to 100% of the project's capital costs is available. The assistance must be secured by a forgivable 15-year mortgage. The maximum loan available for renovation projects varies according to the number of existing beds or bed units. So, am I eligible? Nonprofit corporations and charities who operate housing for women, children, and youth who have experienced family violence are the intended recipients of the financial assistance. Funding is limited to capital assistance, and sponsor groups must have operating assistance for emergency shelters. For second stage housing, residents are expected to make modest contributions to help offset the operating costs. Well, I'm just looking at this and going, does our transition house apply for this stuff? I know that they can't be the only people we have here trying to help women and children.
No,
I'm just surprised I just come across that and it's like, whoa, what?
Townhouse in Glace Bay would be able to take advantage of that. I'm wondering if the food banks would be able to partake in that at all because they are also, they're at least helping people keep food in their cupboards. Then there's another organization that helps with housing, and I, for the life of me, can't think of them.
Oh, there's a few of them that we came up with, right? Well, yeah, there's a few of them, but nonetheless, Community Housing Acquisition Program. So listen, we all got to be taking a look at this page for our CBRM and connecting these grants to the nonprofits we see around that are actually out there trying to help. I was actually trying to speak to people about a month ago, a couple of people from the Townhouse project and such, but I kind of let the ball slip on that one, but I think I'm going to get back on it because after looking at these grants and such, I think a lot of people could benefit, not only just us renters and homeowners, but actually the nonprofits that are really running our community right now, unfortunately.
Well, not in all cases, but in some cases, it is an unfortunate situation for some communities, but not all. We won't say which without our
right.
are posting us or pushing us in the direction we say what we do. But anyhow, As far as information, does anybody have any questions? Is there anything about today's show that you want us to elaborate on? Because if you don't tell us, our mind readers don't work so good. Okay. So help us help you.
Yeah.
And we hope that it didn't hurt your brain too much early Sunday morning with all this math and all the clocks rolling back. Maybe that extra hour of sleep made it easier on your head.
Hopefully.
Well, Deb said, thanks again, girls. Information is knowledge. We'll spread the news. Awesome, Deb. We appreciate you
Great.
doing that for us, darling, because the more people know about it, the more they'll be able to take part in helping, get the rebates for themselves. So
Yeah.
other than that, I think that's it for today's show. Do you got anything to add in there, Miss Marie?
I think I'm good.
All right. So guys, it's hard to come up with fresh content for our shows every week. If you have something that you are thinking about, something that you want us to cover, or investigate or look into, me and Marie are like we're like junior Mary Campbells. Okay, we call ourselves
Well,
Mary Campbells.
well,
in the
that's
trade.
pretty.
Oh, and she is definitely a role model of ours. We have such
Wow, she's
admiration
wonderful.
for Mary, who is still off sick. We don't know exactly the extent of what is going on with our dear Mary Campbell of the Cape Breton Spectator, but we have nothing
I'm
but
going to miracles thing.
positive vibes and healing vibes going out to Mary. So
Yeah.
we really would like for everybody to think about Mary, and because she is the backbone of what me and Marie do, to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
help us to come up with some ideas of what you would like to see us cover, and we will definitely look into it and come back with a show for you. So for now, guys, have a great Sunday. Enjoy the extra hour of sleep you're going to get this week. And until
Yeah.
next time, have a great day. Bye.